taking it from this, right, to this, and that's beautiful. Salt, pepper, Old Bay, striped bass. Here we go. About to ingest it. Let's see. I want to try this for you guys.
Some fish are legendary, some are sacred, and some will test everything you've got. Across North America, indigenous tribes have fished these waters for centuries, carving traditions, ceremonies, and survival from every catch. Now, we travel deep into their ancestral homelands to uncover stories behind the fish that shape their cultures, and catch some absolute giants along the way. From the raging rivers of the Pacific Northwest to the untouched lakes of the Great Plains, we're hooking into monsters that fed generations and diving headfirst into the traditions that keep them alive today. I'm Robert Jacobo, and this is Indigifish, Tribal Tales. Are you ready to chase something big?
Hey, what's up, guys? So, all right, now we're back from the catch, right? And so we caught 3 tonight. We caught 2 striped bass and 1 giant monster striped bass. My personal best, to be honest. So, forgive me for my dirty kitchen, but at the same time, I'm gonna show you guys how I would best fillet this up and prepare it, so that way we can go ahead and cook it for ourselves tonight. So we have our fish, we got our oil, we got our pot or our pan, right? And on top of that, what else we'll have is, let's throw in some spices, right? So a little salt, a little pepper, and just a little classic Old Bay. All right. So first and foremost, we need to go ahead and fillet this guy, right? So we got 2 fillets. They're gonna come off the fish itself, right? And that's gonna be on both sides of this thing. So we're gonna cut it, right? And go diagonally from the head, right? So on the other side of the dorsal fin. So what I like to do, and I'll kind of show you guys, hopefully you can follow along a little bit. Let's see if you wanna kind of locate that dorsal fin, or not dorsal fin, but the pectoral fin, right? And I come down at a degree right here, right? Kind of like I'd say closer to like a 45 degree, right? And I just come down. Now, the other thing is that you have the rib cage. Now with a striped bass, right, that rib cage, forgive me, my fillet knife isn't as sharp as I would love it to be. Now, with this striped bass, unlike a trout, right, where a trout is really bony, I'm talking about rib cage all the way down to the end of the tail. It's a pain in the butt. Honestly, I just like to bake trout and then go from there. But these guys, their bones are much like this dorsal fin, right? Kind of spread out. Their rib cage is relatively spread out. And what we can do in order to get some of the better yield, right, off of this, I like to locate their dorsal fin, right? Once again, that appendage that's right there. We're gonna come up from that top cut area that we just had, and I like to kind of slice into the back a little bit, right? And then what I like to do is I like to go down the spine, right? And kind of locate where I'm gonna cut, because what I wanna do is I wanna get as big of a yield as possible of this fillet, right? But at the same time, what I don't want to do is I don't want to have a bunch of rib bones in the meat that I'm cutting, right? And then when I get down to this tail, kind of past that anal appendage there, right? And I come through and I cut. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work it down, right, along the rib cage. So I'm kind of getting all of the meat that's going to be on the rib cage. Rather, I mean, if you want to do it really quick, right, and really fast, you can, and you have a pretty sharp knife, you can actually just rip right through that rib cage, right? Bring the bones along with you, and you'll be good to go. And then what you can do is you can actually just cut the bones out after you end up getting the full cut, right? But for me personally, I'm like, I'd rather just cut the bones out now and not have to worry about them. And I don't have to worry about whether or not I got them or if I didn't get them, right? Because now they're all right there, right? And so I have this first fillet, and now I don't have to worry about the rib bones because the rib bones are still all attached right here along this membrane. So we're good there with that first fillet. Now, to be honest, this guy is definitely, I'd say 1/3 the size of that PB that we caught tonight. So, and would have yielded a lot more meat from that guy. But at the same time, he was just so big and pretty. I was like, honestly, man, you deserve to live. You gave me a great fight as well. So, like, that was just another reason why it was like, we don't need to keep him. We didn't need to, like, and plus we had already taken this fish and did its thing, right? We killed this fish. We want to go ahead and eat it, right? So it's like there was no real reason for us to have excess. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break out a Ziploc baggie here. I'm going to just go ahead and throw my fillet into that Ziploc baggie for a second, right? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put that Old Bay seasoning and everything like that into that stuff. Now, we're going for the other fillet, right? So here we go. Once again, kind of at that 45-degree angle, right? And then for me, like I said before, I want to go with that dorsal fin area, right? And we'll come down on his back. Well, looks like we're gonna have to just, let's cut this off so that can be out of the way. I'm gonna switch this over here just so that way I can get this back area started. Alright. Now, just run it along that back. And then you run it along those bones of the rib cage. And as you run it along those, it just starts to separate. There you go. It's okay that it's not perfect, right? Like, we're cooking for ourselves here. We're not cooking at a 5-star Michelin restaurant. Although, you know, it may seem different once we actually get done with this. Alright, so we have that second fillet. Let's go ahead and get into it, pull it off from the skin. That's the other thing that I like about striper too, is you can choose to descale it, right, and cook the whole fish and everything like that, but I don't really roll that way. So, And trust me, some of you are gonna look at this video and be like, that was cringe, man. Like as far as my own personal way of, you know, filleting and stuff like that. It's not perfect. I don't do this as a 9-to-5 job all the time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be imperfect sometimes. But you know what? We're still out here. We're getting it done. We're doing the work. You know, and we're learning the craft that goes along with this. All right, so next thing that's coming up, let's go ahead and get ourselves a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of Old Bay's that's gonna go in there as well. Ooh, there's a lot of pepper there. Let's go with this Old Bay's next. We need the scoop version. Yeah. All right, then we're just gonna kind of evenly distribute it, right? Shake and bake method, baby, shake and bake. You know, for those of you that have ever fried chicken with a shake and bake, you know what this is about. And it's just so that way we can get this really even coated, right? When you throw it on the stove, or not on the stove, but like on the cutting board, and then you just kind of like, oh, let me sprinkle a little here. It's all uneven. Like, put it in a bag like this. Give it a little extra time, a little extra love, right? And you'll get that even coat that you were looking for. Boom. There we go. And guys, tonight we're just gonna eat the fish. There's no veggies or anything like that. So we literally went to the river. We skunked out all day today, right? And then we went to the river at night. We brought some anchovies along. Everything loves anchovies. We were able to actually get 3 fish, right? The first one was nice. We sent him back on his way because he was our, like, get the skunk off our back fish, right? So that's our thanks. We got the second fish, and that was like, hey, I'm taking you home. And then we got the third fish, and it was a monster. And as much as I would love to just take it home and stuff, it was just too much of a monster and more like a breeder that you want to still kind of like be out there in the wild doing their thing, passing those genetics along and stuff. And so it was just an awesome night, right? And best thing is that we're here. You know, you say you don't have groceries or something, right? Like, or you're traveling and you're just like, hey, I want to eat fish. And you're like, oh, I gotta go to the restaurant. Okay, well, let's go to the restaurant. And then you go to a restaurant and it's like $30 to order fish for 2 people, right? And it's like, I can just grab this from the river and eat good. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. So now we got it all shaken up. Look at that. Perfect coating, guys. Anyways, all right, so the next thing that we're doing is we're heating up a pan. We got oil, olive oil going in on that. Like I said, salt, pepper, Old Bay seasoning. We're heating up the oil. We're gonna get it to that point where it's gonna do a nice little sizzle, a nice little crackle on it. We're not gonna leave it out there or on the pan for too long, maybe about a minute to 2 minutes on each side. We'll keep an eye on it because these are pretty thin fillets, right? It's not like a massive chunk of salmon or something like that. If we did cut up that personal best that we just caught, it would have been like salmon steaks or something like that, something a lot bigger and meatier. But for the fillets that we got right now, you're looking at, you know, a minute to 2 minutes max because you don't want to necessarily overcook the fish. So, oh yeah, there we go. Nice even coats here. There we go. I'm gonna keep that piece of meat just coming on the outside. Oh yeah. What a beaut. Loving it, loving it. See, and this is great because this is full cycle. This is going from, you know, this thing was birthed, lived in the river. I came to the river, grabbed it. It feeds me, gives me sustenance. That goes back into the earth because I provide a service, or I provide a good, or I provide some type of work, right? That possibly impacts somebody else. So everything is just interconnected, and it's so great to see that interconnectedness through water. All right, guys, I'm so stoked because we just got done at the river. We just caught ourselves some fish, and you know, we're taking it from this, right, to this, and that's beautiful. Salt, pepper, Old Bay, striped bass. Here we go. About to ingest it. Let's see. I want to try this for you guys. Oh my God. That is good. That is good. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me on my adventure today. We went from 0 to hero. We went from skunked out in the midday to 3 bass and a personal best. So I'm really stoked. I'm really happy. And I cannot wait to devour the rest of this. So I'm gonna get to it, guys. And until next time, take care.